We all know that Smough and Ornstein are an incredibly difficult boss, but who were they really? We have so many different conversations going on about Smough and Ornstein, who they were, the lore behind them. We're going to dive into some of the lore and psychology of Smough and Ornstein in today's video. Be sure to hit that subscribe if you guys like what you see here, and don't forget to sign up for the memberships and Patreon where you guys can see these videos up to 2 to 3 days early. That is, if I get the video done on time, I don't have to rush it going out. Now, Ornstein was captain of the 4 Knights of Gwyn, Lord of Cinder, serving alongside Artorias the Abyss Walker, and also along Carrion and Hawkeye. There's also reason to suspect that he might be an illusion, a ghost that you're fighting. Kind of like how Guinevere isn't really there and she's just an illusion to make the light all happy so people are happy. Yeah, same goes for Smough and Ornstein. The entire facade is maintained by Gwendolyn, which Gwendolyn was put in this precarious position to keep the facade going to keep everyone in Anor Londo happy. Also, depending on who you leave last to battle, Smough or Ornstein, you get to see the full extent of their prowess and power. But if you leave Ornstein last, then you get to see the full extent of his power by him absorbing all of the lightning. So let's talk about Executioner Smough. Smough was an executioner for the royal family and wanted to be an anointed knight for Gwyn. There was, however, an issue with him becoming knight because of, well, one of his extracurricular activities. He liked to eat the bones of those he executed, so because of this, he was never a knight. But after the gods fled Anor Londo, he remained at Guinevere's defense. Not in defense of her, the actual her, in defense of the illusion, which leads me to think that his physical body and who he is actually there, but it also, like I alluded to the fact earlier that both of them were illusions, it's something that would make more sense if they were both illusions, because an illusion guarding an illusion makes more sense instead of a physical body guarding an illusion. So I still stick by what I think of the fact that they're both illusions. I don't think that Smough is actually there. He's just a representation of what Smough used to be, rather. Now, it's been discussed already in the community whether or not Smough stays there to protect the illusion of Gwendolyn out of pure loyalty or because he has become susceptible to the manipulation of the light of Anor Londo that has been placed there. Also, psychologically, it really dives into manipulation and the concept of that within the game. Maybe he was fooled by the light. Maybe he wanted to have hope and looking forward to something more so than just him. I feel like maybe he was fooled by the light. Maybe he wanted to be a part of something bigger than him, and that's why he stays there, because that was the only chance at being a knight he ever got, even though he was never actually knighted. Now, depending on how you play this boss battle out, you could end up with Smough being the last one you fight, or Ornstein. Depending on who you fight last is whose armor you are going to get. If you want Smough's armor, you have to take out Ornstein first, that way it's just you and Smough. But if you want Ornstein's armor, which is what I highly recommend, then kill the Unga Bunga cannibal first. One thing I found though really interesting, which makes Smough's character a lot more menacing, is that right after you kill Ornstein, Smough actually absorbs all of his powers, just like, a big cannibalistic sponge. Ornstein's hand moves and Smough kills him anyway, which just makes it really eerie and really just menacing, the way that Smough must have been, because I don't think that they were friends. I think that they were just two people who were working together, honestly. Smough kind of laughs right after crushing him, which it was just eerie. Like, if you watch that boss battle, it is eerie. There are little bits of irony though, just sprinkled throughout Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. Aldrich, the Devourer of Gods, was the one to eat Smough. Never ceases to amaze me. Also, if you think about it, they were kind of tricked, both Smough and Ornstein, into protecting the image or the illusion of Guinevere in the sunlight, when in reality they were protecting her brother, Gwendolyn. I should also do a lore and psychology video on Gwendolyn, because Gwendolyn's story is just sad. I know I talked about it before, but my god, that story is just so sad. Gwyn is the source of literally every single problem that is going on right now, right? So we look at the manipulation tactics that are being used to keep Smough and Ornstein there, to protect something that is not even there. It's just an illusion. It's an illusion that is there to keep people happy. They are protecting an illusion, the thought of something good, instead of a physical, tangible thing that is actually good. You know, it's just, it's why I love these games so much. There's so much philosophy, there's so much psychology, there's so much meaning, and so much heartbreak, you know? I think it's really fascinating, though, that Smough wanted to be a knight so bad that he technically got what he wanted at the very end, even though he wasn't protecting the actual person. He was protecting the illusion that was supposed to maintain the life and livelihood of Anor Londo. He wasn't protecting Guinevere, he was protecting a lie. But Ornstein, however, if you kill him first, he still died with dignity because he was protecting the person who he thought needed the most protecting. And that's the thing, too, of where even though they were manipulated into protecting this illusion, Ornstein still did it with honor. Ornstein still went about it in a loyal way. At least that's just my view on it. I feel like there's so many different ways that you could look at this story and look at the way that Dark Souls 1 and Smough and Ornstein's story is represented. But that was it for today's video. If you all like my face and what I do, please be sure to subscribe and hit that bell down below. May you find your worth in the waking world, dear hunter, and I will see you all in the next one. Umbasa.